matcha is a green tea powder. What makes it different from regular green tea is that it's grown under shade for about 30 days. It makes it much more richer in chlorophyll, so that's what gives it that bright green flavor, or that bright green color. The matcha I've had, it's kind of bitter. I believe the higher grades, from what I've read, have a little bit of a smoother taste to them. It's bitter, it's really earthy. It's a pretty strong flavor, especially when it's just mixed into water as opposed to what I've been doing, mixing it as an ingredient into recipes. Well, my inspiration for the dish was basically encompassing everything in a cup of tea. So in like your basic cup of tea, it's like milk, honey, a little bit of vanilla and sugar, so I kind of based it around that.
Okay, so tell us where we are.
So we were in the basement of the Chicago Athletic Association Hotel. I heard this was supposed to be a butchering room. I heard it was supposed to become a chocolate tempering room and a juicing room because there's a bunch of juicers down here. But this is where I set up our little station because our kitchen's a little crazy today. So, all right, so we've got matcha cake in 2 different sizes. We've got matcha dehydrated meringue, which I made a meringue. I folded a little bit of the matcha into that, which it dissolved in really nicely. It gave it like a tint of green. And then I also took a tea strainer and sifted some over the top as well. Compressed strawberries, which I compressed in a honey vanilla syrup. Got candied almonds. This is the honey lemon gelée. So I'm gonna plate the dish.
And what are you heating the pot for?
I'm heating the water to actually mix the matcha, which is what we're going to use the traditional matcha whisk for, and the bowl. So this is made out of bamboo. So we're gonna do a round of cake, and then a big scoop of the milk and honey sherbet. Why sherbet instead of ice cream? I feel like in sherbet, it's easier to get a stronger flavor. I really wanted the honey flavor to come out. So a couple pieces of the matcha cake squares, and then our honey lemon gelée. It's gonna hide underneath a couple things, and then our dehydrated meringue. And these are nice, they're super crisp and crunchy, so they're gonna give a nice crunch to the dish. I'm going to take about a teaspoon of matcha powder, put it in the bottom of the bowl, and I'm going to give it a quick whisk just to break up any of the larger chunks. So I'm going to give it about 3/4 to a cup. And then the whisking technique in this isn't a round, but you want to go back and forth kind of in an M and W shape, because you want to scrape everything off the bottom, break up the chunks, make sure that everything gets equally dissolved in there. So when it's done, you get that nice froth on top. You just want to kind of break up some of the larger bubbles. And typically, matcha is drank from one bowl. It's kind of like a communal thing, and like a typical tea ceremony. But we're not going to do that today. Is just your pour of matcha. And that's the dish. So I like to try to get a little bit of everything in my bite. I don't know if that's gonna happen. It's a little slippery. It's not bad. The creaminess and all the fat from the almond milk and the sherbet really kind of mellows out that bitterness, kind of acidity from the matcha, from the kind of matcha soup that I made. It's like a cup of tea in a bowl. He's the chef of Cindy's and the Chicago Athletic Association Hotel, and the ingredient I'm giving him is yuzu. So I was like, he could probably incorporate juice and the peel in some way, so I thought there was multiple forms of yuzu that he could incorporate into a dish.